What's happening, guys? Nate here, good friend Mike Duquette, local legend and the fitness guru. We're going to talk about how to warm up if you have 10 minutes. Absolutely critical. Mike, we don't do anything unless there's a warm up involved in front.
Activation is the key. You're about to get on a tennis court and run and jump and move in a chaotic state. So it's important if you're coming from work, if it's early in the morning, if you've been sitting, it's important just to kind of activate, get your body ready to play and do. And the crazy thing is you'll start to find that those little warm-ups will make your tennis game that much better from the start. So
yeah, we're not talking about these, you know, we're talking about like an actual warm-up, especially as we get a little bit older. We've got to get the body activated if we want optimal performance. So let's jump into it, huh?
Sounds good. So usually it's you do the jog around the court and maybe a little bit of static stretch. We're just going to use from double sideline to double sideline, and the lines in between is kind of a good gauge. And just through a series of jogging and some movement planes to dynamic stretch, and just using the court. But lots of balancing, rotational work, and really trying to work from the ground up, from the toes up to the head, because it's always a good check to see how we're feeling.
Yeah. It's early for you guys out there, so the body's definitely not awake.
So, let's just do a light jog.
All right.
Back pedal back.
Cool.
Double sideline, double sideline. Tap and go. As we're going, just nice and light with the feet, not too heavy on the ground. Good, and then back. Good. So the ground contact is limited, how long your foot stays on the ground, just getting it going. We'll do this 3 times, just to kind of get things rolling. Knees are lifting from the hip flexors.
Which we know I'm horrible at.
All right, next one, we're just gonna side shuffle. Just nice and easy. Good, just hips low, just nice and loose. Good, good, tap and go. Again, nice flat back from ear to hip is a straight line. Good. Let me go one more time. All the way through, just tap and go. Sit in the hips. Okay. Let's do a light karaoke step. Okay, with this, as we go, hips and shoulders are gonna rotate in a reciprocal fashion. So shoulders are gonna rotate to the right, hips are gonna rotate to the left.
I'm horrible at this, so.
And
I'll show you the wrong way.
This is tricky. A lot of times as kids or adults, we do this, you know, whether it's PE class, we just kind of skip through it.
That's what I do.
But really, as we're going, just focusing on step back and the shoulders rotate opposite of the hips. So always turning towards your,
I should be this way.
and then the right hip pulls that way. Yeah.
So now let's step back.
And just relax with those arms. It's all right.
Well, look as stiff as I feel.
Definitely.
All right, so I'm gonna watch this. So I'm going right, and then I'm.
All right. So as you step back with the right foot, your right shoulder pulls forward. And then step out, step across. So whatever leg steps forward, okay, that leg, you've got to turn towards that, okay, towards that. So it's here. Whatever leg is in front, you turn that back shoulder, or the shoulder towards that hip. So here, here. Throw your hip, okay?
I'm really bad at that.
All right, let's
I've
try
got
one.
a hip that doesn't listen, so like everything feels like I want to go left, left,
Yeah.
right, right, instead of like a left hip, right shoulder. I want to reverse it the whole time.
Now, and with that, I always think about you creating separation from the trunk and that lower body and that coiling effect, that as you get into, let's say, a forehand, being able to really load that coil to then explode out, again, that's all we're doing. So a lot of times if you want to make sure that you're kind of getting that activation and that separation, because we're going to be doing a lot of twisting with both hips and shoulders.
Yeah, that corkscrewing effect, right?
Yep.
Are we doing it again?
Let's try one more time.
Okay.
There you go. Just relax the hips. Relax the hips. There you go. Just focus on the hips right now. Just hips. Just focus on the hips. Don't worry about the shoulders. Just hip turn, hip turn, hip turn, hip turn, hip turn, hip turn. All right. Okay. Now we're gonna do a walking knee tuck. With this walking knee tuck, you're gonna drive the knee up to the chest. You're gonna pull, and as you pull, it's called triple extension. That triple extension is the ankle, knee, and hip extension. So we're gonna be in, drive up, and all we're just gonna do, walk. Really trying to stay a nice little pillar with the head. And then I'm gonna do a light jog back. Everything we're doing is just kind of keep the fluidity going with that. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna step out with that left foot. We're just gonna reach to the outside and just a little shoulder rotation open with that left. And then we're gonna go 3 little tap steps, chop, 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 and then the right leg's gonna come out. 1, 2, 3, and then rotate. Good, rotate that right shoulder open. Good, 1, 2, 3. And then as you get comfortable, this is gonna speed it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Just going down. 1, 2, 3. Do a twist. 1, 2, 3. Good. Always light as we move. 1, 2, 3. Because we need those small adjustment steps. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is money in the hamstrings. Like that's.
Then that's hip, hammies. All right, now we're gonna go walking quad stretch with the chop, chop, chop in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, good, right leg, just pillar, balance. Now as you go through, again, just hold that balance for a couple seconds. Good, 1, 2, 3, as it kicks up. Good, 1, 2, 3. Good, 1, 2, 3. Good, 1, 2, 3. Good, so activate the hamstring to pull up and then the stretch to the quad. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Good, always controlling the breath. Last one. Actually, let's get, because we started on the right, so let's finish it out. Always good to balance. Get the same amount of reps on the left and the right.
What do you think about eye line here? I feel like when I'm trying to balance from that stretch, if I keep my line of sight, like if I focus on something, I feel much more balanced. But I noticed there are a couple times, like I took my eyesight down and immediately like I wanted my weight all of a sudden started going in that direction.
Right, so thinking like, just like where as your head and chin, just think about when your head pulls off of a shot, like what happens, your left shoulder pulls open, like everything, you lose that balance. So again, it's that alignment, like I don't think down, because then it brings the chin down. Just think a little bit out, maybe halfway out the court, and just kind of work your eyes and find that fixed position, and really just try to keep that chin head as still as possible. So from here up, nice and quiet.
Right.
Again, is exactly what we want.
Same exact thing on our ground strokes, right?
Yeah.
Like the body's gonna go where the head goes.
Yep.
So if I'm pulling off the ball, the body's pulling off the ball as well.
And again, it's part activation of those legs, but through this, again, you're about to go and play. So it's just getting your mind trained to like, okay, let's get everything in line, retool, just getting yourselves focused on just kind of what your body needs to do. So, all right. We're gonna keep it going. Yeah, we're gonna go with the opening the gate and closing the gate.
Okay.
All right, always a good one. So this is just working the hip adduction. So from here, we're gonna bring that leg up. We're gonna swing it across, and we're gonna do a little slide step, and then we're gonna repeat. So it's gonna bring up to the side, swing it across, slide, up and swing, and the kind of nice and relaxed. Good, knee comes up first, swinging across. This is the closing of the gate and the opening of the gate. Okay, now as we're doing this, a lot of times as people go, they want to pull their whole body with it. Just keep your head locked in forward and then swing it out, a little slide. Good, head locked in forward. Good.
That's a good tip, because I'm definitely the guy that wants to open early. I just did it there.
Good. And let's try that one more time.
Okay.
Head forward. right, and then go in the other direction. Nice little, good. Bring the knee up, there you go. Bring it up, right into it. Right as that foot hits, bring it up. Head still facing forward. All right, cool. Okay, next one is gonna be inchworm or hand walk. This is just to kind of, or the focus on this is the lower part of the leg, kind of soleus, Achilles, calf, all that good stuff in that first step. So we're just gonna come down, we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna walk them out past the head. Good. From here, this is kind of activation of the core a little bit. And then from here, you're gonna alternate your feet, inching your feet in, left, right. And you're really gonna try to go up on the tippy toes, left, right, left. Good, all the way in. And you're gonna try to get your feet, keeping the legs straight all the way in as much as you can.
We look exactly the same, right?
And then you're just gonna repeat. Good, from there, hands are out past the head. Good, just tight with those abs. Nice little activation through that core. And then left, there you go. Nice relaxed ankles. It's a little bit of bounce, keeping the legs straight. Now by keeping the legs straight, that's what focuses on that lower part of the leg, walking it out. Just inchworming across the cord. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Sucking your belly button to the sky, your hips to the sky. There you go. Good, and then again. And as you go across, you'll find that second, third, fourth rep, you'll find you get a little bit more opening of those hammies to be able to, all the way in. All right, here we go. Good, and then we're gonna go for one more. Walking those hands out. This also activates the shoulders. Okay, just getting some blood flow to that area as well as we're having to stabilize in that position. Good, all the way. Good, and then as you're getting, just and then curling up, a little tap and go. Gotta tap, and all right. Now, okay, next one. It's gonna be an inverted hamstring. This is for balance. So we did this earlier, but we're gonna now work that same kind of rotation from a single leg balance. So we're gonna step out with that left leg, and then we're gonna come down, and we're just gonna reach to the outside of that left foot. Good, and then kind of come up, and then step forward, and then left hand. Now bring your back leg. Your back leg should be,
so left
a lot
hand
of times,
across right, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes that leg wants to sit. Really press that up through that low back and that glute, and then keeping that, good, it's all right. And stepping out. Just, good, coming up. I want to take 1 second. Now with this, as we're doing it, a lot of times, if you lead here, right away, when you're in this position, once you pull that leg back, so we're right now on the right leg. So instead of leading down, which leads to that disconnection between the lower extremity and the upper extremities, that for us, I want to activate this first. Right as I do this, now it's a straight line from my ankle all the way to my ear. Now with that, and then I just teeter-totter. So I lead with the leg lifting, and I'm folding. Actually, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong leg. So I'm leading, leg lifts, and then I'm folding in. And as I lead to go down with my leg, my back leg is lifting to the sky. Now this can be just here. It doesn't have to be crazy. I don't want you going too far down where you lose that connection.
So
I would
kind of
rather,
that flat back,
yeah,
no matter. Yeah.
Flat back. I always talk about from ear to ankle, nice straight line. And then just a little bit of a rotation, adds a little bit of instability. But if just going down is what you need, the left leg lifts, keep going. Good, now stepping through. Good, lift, good. And then here, so from there, picking the leg up, that back leg, activate the glute, good. Arms pressed out.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
So that actually, yep. Good. And switching it down.
right through the end, I found the balance as I like engaged the quad and the hamstring. I was like, oh, I'm like, the alignment helped so much. Before I felt like I was on scales.
Yep. And all those joints, again, like, you know, we want that, you know, we talk about the arm that's not involved with the stroke. Let's say my left arm on my forehand, that if I've got this like bumpy arm and I'm hitting a forehand, like I've completely disengaged the left side of my body to help me with the uncoiling, to help me maybe with the hold of the ball. And if I actually think like, all right, I'm in this position, as I start to rotate, I don't want to crumble with the other side.
Right.
Okay, I've got to keep that engaged, keep that left side. So again, just working all those neuromuscular pathways to make sure that as I go down, I'm keeping this left arm extended. I'm keeping that activation here, because now if I just lose that, I'd now, all that stability that I want to maintain from this left side, that side that's kind of not involved, that's going to help.
Yeah.
You know, make sense?
Yeah, that's cool. Big time. I can feel like the activation when it all, like you keep talking about the alignment between the ear and you know, all that, but it's like 100%. Like all of a sudden when I feel it, I feel it. In other words, it's like, you know, instability. For me, I think the big one there is like hinging first.
Yep.
Like get the hinge and then go through the motion, as opposed to where like what we've worked on a lot, my tendency is either bend at the waist and then instead of like lifting my leg this way, not that we're doing this exercise, for me, it's commonplace to want to go this way.
Right.
And now I'm engaging where I'm going, oh no, the whole thing is going to go.
Cool, let's go 2 more on each leg, all right?
Okay.
All right, so arms out, always just gonna start with that. Good, step out, and then rotate. Good, switch, knee comes through, lift, step out, right arm pressed out. Good, knee comes through, step out.
Oh, that was bad.
It's all right?
I'm gonna do it again.
Yep.
So I step out, I'm gonna hinge.
Good, oh, arms, okay?
This
Notice
guy.
again, he had his arm down here.
Yeah.
Okay, right before you do anything, it's hard to get your, again, start right when you step, set, and then start to move. Yep, back leg, good. And then step through with that right, one more, arm set, okay?
Yep.
And stepping out, coming through.
I'm here,
Yep. Okay, and I'm gonna make another point, okay, coming out of that. All right, after your shot, a lot of times, like, boom, you come out, you know, you're here. If you don't get yourself ready immediately after that strike, and your hands are ready, rack it up and ready, you're not gonna get yourself situated from shot to shot. You're gonna be fumbling and bumbling to try to get yourself. But if I hit that ball, boom, I'm here, now I'm ready. So if I need to rotate again, so as Nate was just finishing that, do an exercise, boom, great shot right here, great shot. And then his arms would fold down. And then we're playing catch up. And that's where mistakes lead. So if you think like, boom, I just finished that stroke, boom, and I'm coming out of that shot, perfectly set up with my leg, I'm coming out of that shot. Every time, I'm not allowing myself to kind of fold and get gimpy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Yeah, for sure. And especially like in a long point where it's like we're all looking for that moment to catch our breath, and it's like we don't even think about, I certainly don't think about like I've allowed my hands to relax and then I'm not ready for the shot, but I'm like, but my feet were there, but the hands weren't at all.
And that comes into play because you're that upper body, and just making the connection. So the more opportunities we have in this kind of very controlled setting to get ourselves to think from, I always talk like fluidity, like it's, you want from shot to shot or exercise to exercise, it's gotta be nice, it's gotta be, you know, the aesthetic. You watch somebody do it well, like, man, that looks pretty good. I'm like, that's the visualization. Like, I wanna visualize myself doing this perfectly. And it's probably not gonna be perfect, but at least you're thinking about like how you wanna be looking.
Yeah, mental picture, I like that.
All right, so now, combination of the world's greatest, that is the stretch.
Okay.
So we're gonna step out with that left leg. Okay, big step. Okay, right palm plants. Okay, now we're gonna take that left forearm. Now, a lot of times we'll do this left forearm, but I kind of like to reach through that kind of thread that left arm through the right. And then we're gonna take that left arm and we're gonna rotate it open, okay? Now from here, really punch your chest out, okay? Your knee is not going over your toe too much. Your back leg is driven up to the sky, so the back of your knee. So you're getting that rotation. Then the left fingertips touch down, okay? Now you're straddling your front foot. Now this is where you kind of test that hamstring flexibility. Now from here, we're gonna lift our hips and we're gonna press out. Now that right hip wants to open, kind of tuck that down towards that front heel. All right, and then what's gonna happen is we're gonna rotate onto our front leg. We're gonna step up with the right, and then we're out into that next rep for the other one. Thread that right arm through. Good, rotating that right arm open. Back leg driven to the sky. Fingertip touches down with the right. Good, push away. Big stretch, fingertips stand on the floor. That back toe also sometimes has a tendency to open. Pull that toe straight on, left hip pulls forward. Then you're gonna transfer your weight shifts onto that front foot, drive up, stepping out. And then we're rolling, threading it through, rotating open. Good, fingertip touches down, push away. Good, transitioning the body weight through, stepping forward. Good, threading that right arm through. Good, rotating open. Good, fingertips touches down, push away. Good, transitioning through. Good, underneath, rotate open. Good, down, push away. Driving it through. Good, opening. And pushing away. Good, stepping through. All right, rotating open. And fingertip touches down, push away. Good, and a little tap and go. Good, nice and light. Nice. And light. All right. So hitting different planes. A lot of linear planes right here. So again, when I say linear plane, just kind of that straight ahead. I'm hitting my hamstrings. You know, we've done a little bit of rotation. So one of the things we really that kind of gets overlooked is kind of that when you picture Djokovic on the stretch on a backhand or forehand, you're like, how does he do that?
Zombie, yeah.
Yeah. And that is one area for tennis players, if they're not really hitting those areas through the hips, that mobility through the hips, flexibility through the groin, hamstrings, again, it's limiting. And so we're gonna do a lateral lunge. In this lateral lunge, we're just gonna rotate across the court. Now, all these exercises you can do stationary. You don't need to have the court. You can kind of work them in play in one stationary place. But since we've got the space, that's what we're using. But we're gonna, all right, so facing each other, we're gonna step it out. Okay, now I'm gonna just talk through this first one. As we step out, okay? Now, as we sit in, our chest is gonna stay lifted. I don't want that butt to lift up. Notice the joint angle in the knee is still pretty big. I wanna close that joint angle, okay? I wanna keep this back foot, this outside foot flat to the floor. A lot of times this wants to slide here. I wanna keep that outside of the foot driven out. I also wanna make sure that knee presses back and I'm sitting my bum into a bucket, lifting my chest. Okay, so we're gonna sit out, then we're gonna slide across. So we transition into that other leg. And from here, we're gonna push out and sit into the other one. And then we're gonna slide, step out, slide, just going back and forth, just really trying to focus on opening up the inner thighs.
Got it.
Sound good?
In theory, I'm gonna do my best.
I mean, the only way to figure out if your body can be in those positions
is to try.
Try it. Yeah, then that is key. All right, so stepping out with your front leg. Here we go. Step out, sit in. Okay, bring that foot in. You're a little too far. Yeah, sit in, chest lifted a little bit more. Good, there you go. Sit your butt back a little bit deeper. Chest lifted, sit your butt back. Good, now slide into that. And then from here, foot flat. There you go. So really feel that energy on that one. Then sliding across. So here, good, slide. Good, pivot across. Good, and every time you pivot, you just feel that balance go across. Good, and then pivot, feel the balance on that bottom leg. You have full control.
So I'm pivoting.
Pivoting
going
off that.
this way?
Nope, the other way. Always closing the hips.
So as I go here, I'm
Pivot.
pivoting.
Boom, right into it. Good. Chest is lifted a little bit more. Chest lifted, lift your chest. Bring the chest up, sit your butt down. There you go. And then pivot across.
Oh, so from here, that's the
That.
pivot.
Zah. Good, and right, lift the chest a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Keep going a little bit higher with the chest. A little bit higher if you got it. Now sit, yeah, sorry. And then go, slide across back to here, and then push across, go. Good. Sit in, foot flat.
Oh, foot, yeah.
Yep, foot flat.
I feel like Spider-Man.
Good.
The Spider-Man
Slide.
move.
Slide across. Good, and pivot, cut across, pivot. Good, slide across. Good, one more time. Out, foot. Good, slide across. Good, and driving out and out, cool. Now, this is one exercise that, as I work with kids, it's really important that you actually, it's the quality of the quantity. I mean, you got guys just kind of doing this thing. Like, if you're gonna do it, just focus on taking a little bit extra time to really get yourself to sit in and to feel that, I'd rather have you just kind of sit here for about 5 seconds and then sit here for like 5 seconds. You can maybe even use your support of the hand, but really just try to get things set. Don't just go through this haphazardly with just not getting that activation, because we want that joint angle of the knee, we want the joint angle of the hip, and really to kind of open up the inner thighs. So when we are in that full stretch, that groin's been there. Because if it's not been there,
right,
that's no bueno on that one.
Well, I think all of this, what's important is so for our journey, we've been doing some training together and finding out who you are, like what your imbalances are. And there's things that my body has, because of injuries, it doesn't fire correctly. So then it's corrective exercises that we've been through where it's like, how do I make that muscle do what my brain, my neurological system is asking it? And this is the only way that you're gonna find out. Like, this stuff will tell you where your deficiencies are. So maybe you're on the court, it's like you're really having a hard time with the wide backhand, and it's like your outside leg doesn't wanna get to this position. So you gotta have that corrective exercise to get there. Notice this is like really the only static stretching we've done, and it's very briefly. Yeah. I think like with the audience, it's important to know when we warm up, like if we are doing a ton of static and I'm doing like the 20-second holds, correct me if I'm wrong here, Mike's the expert, from what I understand, is like if I'm doing static and I'm holding, I'm lengthening and engaging, which puts my muscle to sleep.